Throughout the Blue Lock community, in terms of the new generation 11, the ones who are always regarded as the lowest is Satoshi Sai due to him having 0 current feats against or with the current Blue Locker's insane power creep, which is a video that did really well and highly encouraged me to make this one. So I highly encourage you check it out if you haven't. It was a really good video. Then there is Don Lorenzo, who is a defender, and since this is a striker manga, he has been predicted by the end of this arc to be the weakest new generation 11. So today I'll be analyzing Don Lorenzo's entire NEL run and compare him to the Blue Lockers and New Gen 11 in the end, so you can get like extended or exclusive videos as well. Now let's get to the video. Quick backstory. Born on July 4th, 1999 or 2000 in Florence, Italy, Don Lorenzo was born into a family of 5 since he had like 2 brothers and parents. Lorenzo states that he had a really lousy upbringing. His parents abandoned him and it led to him doing all kinds of bad stuff, and in his Egoist Bible it talks about him being sad about someone being arrested. Would love to see him react to Kaiser's backstory one day. However, considering how broke he was and the fact Snuffy didn't find him in a jail cell, I doubt he was ever arrested. He made his living by deceiving garbage adults, but that garbage lifestyle was wearing him down to the brink of death, and that's where Snuffy came and saved him. He asks Lorenzo if he would like to play soccer for him, and Lorenzo simply would do it for the money, and he even gets gold teeth out of it. Now, versus Bastard Munchen in the NEL. We see Bastard Munchen versus Ubers begin in chapter 210, and it seems Kaiser's system is going to get the opening goal in the opening play, but Lorenzo pulls up to devour him whole. And it seems from the feats I'll be going through later, he is a preferred or stronger suited off the ball defender than on the ball, as he waited for the perfect time to watch that play out and pinpointed the ball with flawless precision, with the technical term for this being called lunging, since he used his whole long limbs to reach the ball before Kaiser. And it also that his visual accuracy is a 1.5, and Isagi's as of the Egoist Bible volume 2 was a 2.0, so he isn't that far off from the Metavision users. This was a play 100% Metavision Isagi wasn't able to see, yet while Isagi's Metavision has grown due to more experience in this game, this was a pretty big deal. A perfect combination of physical and predictive abilities, and Isagi declares Lorenzo as the world's best U20 center back, which should confirm whoever is the second new Gen 11 center back will likely be weaker than Lorenzo. However, we have Loki existing, and Chris called Kaiser the world's best rookie, which I believe he means New Gen 11, when there is Bunny, Loki, and Hugo. So we don't know how valid it is, this claim, but Kaneshiro could probably just like make the other center back stronger if he felt like it. It's kind of like whatever Kaneshiro feels. Lorenzo serves as a libero, which is a free defender who is typically fast and relied upon to make plays from the backline. There are ball sweepers and good passes as well, with the last thing to mention is his top-notch visual accuracy. We see him showcase his zombie dribbling as he easily nutmegs Kunigami. What makes this dribbling style hard to counter is the fact that he is using his giraffe lanky physique. He is able to move his upper body and lower body differently, making it impossible to read his center of gravity. The way he utilizes his passing to get through the triangle and then get the ball back was so flawless. And when Lorenzo is doing this, Nico takes his place in the center back position. He says time to shoot, and Mensa actually gets scared and dives in, and here is why we have to actually pull up his NEL ratings. While they suck for most characters, for Lorenzo it actually adds up, as he has 84 in offense, 83 in speed, 99 defense, 87 passing, 93 dribbling, and 82 shooting. Him having a high shot rating as a defender makes sense due to his long legs. Also, it has been stated that Kaiser and Lorenzo has fought before, and even Lorenzo asked Ness if he got any better. So it meant U20 Bastard Munchen versus U20 Ubers must have happened. And with Noah never subbing out Birkenstock and Mensa throughout the whole NEL, it's safe to say they were a part of this matchup on the team too, which meant Mensa going in for the slide is actually because he knows Lorenzo could actually score from just about outside the box, but he was just bait for Barrow to come eat his dinner. Some people clown Lorenzo for not stopping Kaiser's goal, but you have to keep in mind that Lorenzo's visual accuracy isn't even as good as Isagi's, so there's no chance he would be able to read the pitch beyond Kaiser, an experienced Metavision user, every time. Lorenzo did a good job by seeing through Isagi's play, and if that pass did connect to Yukimiya, Yukimiya was for sure scoring that goal. So the fact that he did that was actually a very good move. And he could have actually ran back for Kaiser, but thanks to Snuffy's plans, it limited Lorenzo as Sendo comes charging in, stating that this pattern means I press in, which means Lorenzo is tasked to not try to go back to Kaiser in this situation, which makes sense as Kaiser is one of the strongest in the verse and Lorenzo, well, maybe on the opposite side in terms of the non-blue lockers. But due to his positioning and body movement, he was able to hold off Kaiser on multiple occasions. It's kind of like boxing out your opponent to get a rebound in basketball. So removing Lorenzo from the on-the-ball defensive matchups was something Snuffy wanted, as Lorenzo's better suited to off-the-ball defensive matchups. Plus, we still see him covering Yukimiya after the goal. In the second half, Lorenzo was moved up in the midfield permanently with the Berserker formation as a means to get a faster tempo for Ubers to score with his zombie dribbling. In chapter 232, he was able to understand Kaiser's bloodlust to finish off the match and got himself in the perfect position to stop the Kaiser impact with his face. His ball control is pretty good too, as he jumps in the air to receive Nico's pass before dragging it down and luring out two mid-division users to send a pass to Bao, which gets intercepted by Hiyori. Now he does get cooked by Isagi alongside IQ in chapter 234, and there is a good excuse for this being that when does Isagi ever do aerial fakeouts? Like his fakeout against Bachira and I believe Chigri was on the ground. So him faking them out there was valid as it was a surprise attack just like his left goal volley. It was Isagi's first time pulling off this feat. However, how Hiyori kept the ball heading into chapter 236 was when I started to believe that the Arthur was starting to use that Bastard Munchin plot armor to save these boys for their lives. Because Lorenzo's foot is on the ball. There's no way Hiyori should have a perfect control after that. Ooh, Lorenzo did get Isagi sliding back home there. I get the rainbow flick getting past Lorenzo because his aerial feats ain't all that, but the fact that Hiyori slipped past him, like, come on, Kaneshiro. This is supposed to be the best U20 defender getting cooked by Hiyori of all people. The man who I didn't even think had the physical stats to play in this game is cooking the new Gen 11 defender. This is why I don't take the new Gen 11 title as serious anymore, bro. But maybe it was just a surprise and Hiyori took advantage of it. Who knows? But we're just, I'm reaching for that even. But yeah, and how Lorenzo got outpaced by Hiyori with Lorenzo having longer limbs, and just because Hiyori's parents are athletes doesn't mean he's supposed to be like a god tier player. He's a talented learner at the end of the day with just high specs, but still Lorenzo should have kept up with him. Lorenzo in chapter 238 did get caught off guard, which did actually make sense though, as Hiyori did pull off like a shot the blue lockway in chapter 235 when he shot, so Lorenzo thought he would do it again. That makes sense. But Lorenzo getting like duked in chapter 237 when Hiyori just got the heel flick, the rainbow heel flick, and then just outpaced them, that is a no-no from me. Lorenzo's last feat was starting Nagi from scoring against Ubers. Like, he didn't even steal it, bro. Kaneshiro was not doing Lorenzo any favors. Now, before I get into where he ranks to the new Gen 11, I want to go through a theory of if he played against PSG, and my answer is simply no. Kaneshiro clearly did not have Ubers really planned out by chapter 169, as Kanali and Drago didn't even have their proper designs, and I just don't think Kaneshiro even had Lorenzo designed yet or anything like that. I don't think he had Lorenzo's character incorporated yet. So that is my first reason why I don't believe he was there. And the second is that Lorenzo was nowhere near the backline. And also both Rin and Shido, their aces, were both moving freely. The last thing is Charles was not in this game either, as Loki had Chapa, who was a defender, up there, so he was experimenting with these tactics since it was his first time coaching, and he's super young too. If Charles was there, he would have awakened Cheeto in this high intensity game against the best defensive team in the NEL for his goal. Considering that they weren't so close to each other by Barcher, he didn't awaken Cheeto. And considering the fact that Rin also had the ball like control, he wasn't like receiving the pass, it was more of like Rin was handling that play by himself. That also means Charles wasn't there. The only way I could justify Lorenzo being here is him being the striker, because Bao was not there and he can't track back immediately. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Now, in terms of the new Gen 11 against Sai, in terms of feats, I actually believe his feats are better than Sai's, as they both never dropped sweat or entered flow the entire game. Lorenzo never even had any eyes, and keep in mind, these are not assassin eyes that Lorenzo has. Kaneshiro must have already dropped the assassin eye after the first selection, as he got metavision, and it was going to be really hard to make Assassin Eye like relevant after Metavision came in too. But like from chapter 210, Lorenzo's eyes were already looking like assassin eyes. Meanwhile, Karasu did have normal eyes before the assassin eyes, so it meant that was actually assassin eyes in the first section. Lorenzo's is just his eyes looked like it. It wasn't a special eye design, and I'm not even going to talk about Loki in this video. So yeah, he didn't even enter inverted eyes. He didn't have any eye styles. So Lorenzo put in less effort than Itoshi Sai, which is a magnificent feat in its own right, and still destroyed Kaiser for most of the game. However, he still lost and let Kaiser go a lot, especially after Isagi's goal. So yeah, in terms of Sai and Lorenzo, I haven't talked about this since 2023, but I still think Sai gets the edge because Lorenzo couldn't man mark Sai, especially inverted eye Sai, since his counter dribbling and tricks would be too much for him. Like if Hiyori could dog walk him, Sai would too, man. Like before Hiyori comes into this game, I would have given it to Lorenzo, but I would have given like Lorenzo a step above Sai, but because of how bad Hiyori did him, I have to like put Sai above him, and I don't even have Sai above any of the other new Gen 11s. So yeah, I have Lorenzo ranked last, Sai, and then I'm not ranking the other 4 right now because Hugo's still playing. So yeah, it's just also like Kaiser's evolution has brought him to a bigger platform. The only reason Lorenzo was able to man mark him so well was because Kaiser's playstyle was receiving the ball from less and scoring. Like it was a very predictable scheme by Kaiser's system, but now that Kaiser's evolved, Lorenzo's gonna have a harder time, especially with Kaiser using more of his backstory, acrobatic feats and stuff like that. So yeah, I do believe Kaiser is over Lorenzo for sure now, and it's so bad for Lorenzo. I even think Destroyer Win could give him a 1 for his money. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Once again, please check out my second channel for more content, as well as my YouTube membership for exclusive videos and extended videos, and Discord page for like putting in your video suggestions. And until the next video, stay blessed. Suki out.